2 people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious. Either you got the job or there's something.
I mean, I have 2 other daughters, so my oldest is very into the baby, but my middle child, not so much. But
he was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can.
She allegedly pushed for comedic rewrites, only to later accuse him of weakening the film's emotional impact. The sense of betrayal spread quickly. A secretly recorded phone call, reportedly from Justin Baldoni's own team, has now surfaced, setting off a massive controversy surrounding Blake Lively's public image. This situation goes far beyond a simple disagreement. It has become a carefully constructed scandal, with accusations of sabotage and manipulation now under intense scrutiny. According to the explosive recording, Blake Lively may have orchestrated a plan to undermine Justin Baldoni during their film project. Careers now hang in the balance, and reputations are at serious risk. The question many are asking is simple but explosive. Did Lively intentionally set Baldoni up to fail?
Ends to play with her. So like in the beginning, our oldest is like loving on her and she's like very maternal. And then our middle daughter is just keeps away from her.
Really important book. And it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycle.
Not long ago, Baldoni and Lively were preparing to bring a beloved best-selling novel to the big screen. The story, celebrated for its themes of personal growth and powerful emotional connections, had captured the hearts of readers everywhere. Fans were ecstatic when Baldoni was announced as the director and Lively as the lead star. The project seemed destined for success. Rumors even hinted that Ryan Reynolds may have quietly influenced early script adjustments and marketing ideas. Although he wasn't officially credited as a producer, excitement still surged throughout the entertainment industry and among loyal fans who imagined a blockbuster combining star power with a deeply moving story. Today, that early optimism feels like a distant memory.
For my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes, I was borrowing some.
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character.
Behind the glamorous appearance of this partnership, creative tensions began to grow almost immediately. Justin Baldoni remained firmly committed to preserving the novel's raw emotional intensity, focusing heavily on its serious life struggles and heartfelt themes. To him, protecting the core of the story was essential. Blake Lively, however, reportedly advocated for a dramatically different direction, one with a more modern, comedic tone that highlighted high fashion, stylish visuals, and lighter moments designed to resonate with contemporary audiences. What once appeared to be a shared creative vision soon turned into a direct clash of artistic perspectives. Their conflicting ideas gradually built toward a collision that would ultimately unravel the entire project. The disagreement intensified until it reached a breaking point. Reports claim that Blake Lively filed a formal complaint, arguing that her creative suggestions were being overlooked and dismissed by the production team. Her claim suggested she had been pushed aside despite being the film's leading star. Justin Baldoni responded swiftly. He reportedly released text messages and extensive production records that, according to his interpretation, demonstrated Lively's significant involvement in creative decisions. Even more striking, he argued that these records showed she had originally supported the same creative direction she was now criticizing publicly. With both sides presenting opposing narratives, the conflict spilled into public view, and the feud escalated dramatically. Then came an even more dramatic development. Baldoni reportedly filed a massive defamation lawsuit seeking hundreds of millions of dollars in damages. His claim was direct and severe. Lively's public statements had severely damaged his professional reputation and threatened the future of the film itself. What began as a creative disagreement had now evolved into a serious legal confrontation. Baldoni argued that her actions caused lasting harm to both his career and the viability of the project, raising the stakes to an unprecedented level. Amid this heated dispute, a shocking new twist surfaced: the leaked phone call. Reportedly originating from Baldoni's camp, the recording quickly became the center of attention. Those connected to Baldoni allegedly viewed it as decisive evidence. Their goal was to show that Lively had been orchestrating much of the chaos behind the scenes, intentionally guiding events in a way that would portray Baldoni as the problem. The release of the audio appeared to be a strategic attempt to shift public perception and expose what they believed to be calculated manipulation. Individuals who claim to have heard the recording describe it as a tense and emotionally charged conversation. In the audio, Baldoni's voice is said to reveal deep frustration as he explains how several key decisions were made specifically to accommodate Lively's requests. Yet later, according to him, she publicly insisted she had been ignored or blindsided. The recording allegedly portrays Baldoni as feeling deeply betrayed, believing Lively had carefully shaped the narrative while gradually placing responsibility for the conflict on him. If authentic, the recording could present a powerful account of how he believes events were manipulated. Industry insiders have pointed to one particularly damaging section of the leaked call. In that segment, Baldoni allegedly explains that Lively strongly encouraged comedic revisions that significantly changed the film's tone. However, he claims she later criticized him for allowing the movie to drift away from the novel's emotional core. Within the recording, Baldoni reportedly expresses his belief that Lively pushed him toward those changes, possibly influenced by Ryan Reynolds' well-known comedic instincts, only to later use the resulting controversy to strengthen her public complaints against him. If accurate, that detail alone could dramatically reshape the entire situation. Should the recording be verified, that single revelation could flip the narrative completely. What initially appeared to be Lively fighting for creative authority against a stubborn director might instead be interpreted as a calculated strategy. The suggestion is that she may have intentionally created conflict, positioning Baldoni as dismissive while presenting herself as the wronged artist. Such a shift would dramatically alter how the entire feud is perceived and could send shockwaves throughout Hollywood. For Justin Baldoni, the legal implications are enormous. If the recording proves that Lively intentionally manipulated events and made knowingly false statements, it could greatly strengthen his defamation lawsuit. Cases like this often depend on whether someone deliberately misled others or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. If the audio suggests that Lively engineered situations in order to later portray herself as a victim, Baldoni's legal team could use it as powerful evidence. In that scenario, the recording might become the crucial piece that influences both the court and public opinion. Of course, Lively's legal team is expected to challenge the recording aggressively. Her attorneys will likely question its authenticity and the context surrounding it. They may argue that audio clips can easily be edited, rearranged, or stripped of important context, making them unreliable. In addition, they could claim Baldoni's own actions forced Lively to respond strongly, suggesting she had no choice but to escalate the situation. The courtroom battle may ultimately revolve around interpretation and credibility, with her team determined to undermine the recording's impact. The circumstances behind the leak itself remain unclear, which has fueled widespread speculation. Baldoni's spokesperson notably refused to confirm or deny whether the recording was intentionally released. This silence has left the public guessing. Some insiders believe the leak may have been a calculated legal strategy designed to pressure Lively into settling or retracting her accusations. Others suspect an outside party may have released it for attention or financial gain. Either way, the timing has raised many questions. What began as a disagreement between two stars has now expanded into a full-scale industry controversy. Producers and investors have grown increasingly anxious as the drama intensifies. Their biggest fear is that the film, once expected to become a major box office success, could be permanently overshadowed by scandal. If audiences become more focused on the feud than the story itself, marketing the movie could become impossible. Fans who were once thrilled about the adaptation now find themselves divided. Some passionately defend Lively, viewing her as a determined creative voice fighting for a fresh interpretation of the story. Others support Baldoni, arguing that the original tone of the novel was compromised and that Lively later shifted responsibility onto him. The leaked call has only deepened this divide, fueling intense debates across social media. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds remains a significant yet somewhat mysterious figure in the background. Although he was never officially part of the production, reports suggest he may have influenced certain comedic elements designed to enhance the film's comedic tone.
Make the film more commercially appealing. Baldoni reportedly believed these changes weakened the story's emotional power, while Lively's team saw them as smart adjustments for modern audiences. If the recording ultimately references Reynolds directly, that could spark another wave of speculation. There were also rumors that a globally famous singer, said to be close to Lively, may have subtly influenced certain script revisions. Some members of Baldoni's circle reportedly believed this celebrity encouraged a more stylish, comedic direction that contrasted sharply with the novel's serious themes. However, since the phone call leak became the main headline, that particular rumor has largely faded from attention. Lively's attorneys are expected to scrutinize every detail of the recording. Questions about who was speaking, who was listening, and what the conversation truly referenced will all become central issues. Audio recordings can easily be misunderstood or manipulated, which means her legal team may attempt to have the evidence excluded entirely. Even if the court allows it, its reliability will almost certainly be challenged. Legal experts also note that privacy laws could play a major role. Recording a phone conversation without proper consent can violate regulations in certain jurisdictions. If Baldoni recorded the call without the other participants' knowledge, it could complicate whether the evidence is allowed in court. Another critical question remains unanswered. Was Lively even the person on the other end of the line? Some insiders speculate Baldoni may have been speaking with another industry colleague instead. If that proves true, presenting the recording as a definitive piece of evidence could become extremely difficult. As the controversy grows, Blake Lively faces intense public scrutiny. Her carefully cultivated public image, built on charisma, humor, and polished elegance, could be significantly affected. If the recording truly suggests she manipulated events to gain control over the project or shape public perception, it could damage her reputation. However, if the audio turns out to be misleading or lacks clear proof of wrongdoing, it might strengthen her claim that Baldoni is selectively presenting information to frame her unfairly. Caught in the middle of this growing storm are the film's producers. They are reportedly working urgently to protect a project that is now under serious threat. Industry observers warn that prolonged legal battles and negative publicity can destroy even the most promising productions. If Baldoni and Lively fail to resolve their conflict soon, or if distributors become too nervous to support the film, the entire project could collapse. Ryan Reynolds' role also remains a major point of curiosity. If the leaked recording hints that he actively helped reshape the project in ways that conflicted with Baldoni's vision, it could add another layer of tension. Reports already suggested Reynolds supported comedic revisions, which reportedly clashed with Baldoni's more emotional approach. Some observers now wonder whether Lively and Reynolds quietly influenced the film's direction behind the scenes, or whether those rumors are simply exaggerated speculation. Legal analysts caution that interpreting phone call evidence can be extremely complicated. A single line can be understood in multiple ways, depending on tone, context, and earlier conversations. Even if the recording raises questions, it might not provide the clear-cut proof Baldoni hopes for. Still, in the court of public opinion, even uncertainty can dramatically influence perceptions. One thing is certain: the story is far from finished. Every new development, every leaked detail, and every legal strategy continues to reshape the narrative. Baldoni's career, Lively's reputation, and the future of the film are all hanging in a fragile balance. In Hollywood, where perception can sometimes matter more than facts, the ultimate question remains unanswered. Will this leaked recording become the decisive evidence that changes everything, or will it simply be another dramatic twist